We've all been there. Yep. Turn BeamNG's graphics up, and that's what you're going to be expecting, which is why I was surprised when I saw this. I didn't know it, but ShinyOdd was working with a team to make this thing called SimpleNG. Now, if you don't know what like the biggest performance hit is for BeamNG, it's the fact that the collision meshes are just so power hungry. So they went in and very specifically got really low poly models and then put on a very, very low poly collision mesh, similar to an automation mesh. Now, I haven't actually looked at how low poly the model is, but yeah, that's fairly low poly. They've done a pretty good job there. This one specifically had been made by Kosaku Rokusen. Not gonna lie either, those performance stats are looking pretty decent compared to what you would normally have. And this is apparently meant to run with a lot of vehicles as well, so you're gonna have huge amounts of traffic and it would still be fine. But let's say I want to be contrary. Yeah, I felt a little bit challenged when I saw SimpleNG. Why not try making complex NG? Now let me explain to you exactly what I'm talking about and why it's important. Let's use the bolide as an example. If you have a look at the actual visible mesh here, none of this is actually what collides when we hit things. May look like it, but none of that visible mesh is actually doing anything. It specifically is being moved around by this, so it's a little bit hard to see. So I'll turn the nodes on, and those nodes and the mesh are what are actually deforming. Now you may be asking, why not just have the entire mesh be this shape? Well, each one of these nodes have physics applied to it. The visible mesh does not. And each calculation for this takes quite a lot. So if we go back to graphics, turn on wireframe nodes, yeah, each point on this triangle is going to be its own node with physics applied to it. That sounds like way too much for a computer to handle. I suppose let's give it a try. I mean, just right now, my computer is already starting to fry itself a little bit. I mean, this is such a thing that so many people really think about that even this person on my, like when I made this thing, why couldn't I just turn the whole thing into a collision mesh? Well, we're gonna run through this. Not bringing in any of the collision stuff, I'm just bringing in the bolide DAE. Actually, let me explain it to you this way. This is the frame of the US Semi, like the new updated version of it. But this is not how the collisions work. If you look at this, you would think that it would have long strength this way, but instead what they have to do is they have to set up this much more rudimentary style collision mesh. And it's not even just that thick, it has to be conjoined, otherwise it'll be too complicated, and like twisting and torsion, all that sort of stuff isn't gonna exactly act the way you want it to. So why not actually make it like that? So if we take a fender or something, which is usually simple, we could make that complicated. Not gonna lie, there's a lot of stuff here. I think we'll just go the fenders to start with, and maybe these race rear quarter fenders as well. Usually what they would have is just a flat plane of a kind of collision mesh, and then everything would be connected via a structure inside, but this already has its own structure on the inside, so this is gonna be a lot easier. And we also only need one side, so we can go ahead and delete the parts on the mirrored. First, we're going to triangulate everything. Down we go. And then we're going to go through every one of these faces and create a cross beam. This is going to take a while, so I'm going to skip ahead. Okay. That was really hard. It took quite a while, but I've done half of the front bumper. So good, you know. Now what I'm going to do is, because it's not just the surface strength, there's also like a cross strength. So we're gonna now put in little beams and everything in between every one of these things, and oh god, this is gonna take forever. I've been going for so long, and I'm still not like even close to being done. Like, I've been going so long, I took a nap, and I'm still really going at it. I've done like 50% of all of these bits. I haven't finished all of them off. So if you think that my work is worth a subscribe, consider helping me get to 100,000 maybe? Also, this mod will be available on my Patreon, but it will eventually go up on the repository once it's approved. Okay, I'm done. I've done half of it. I'm going to cheat the other parts, but here we have what we are going to be working with. This took so long, I am definitely not doing the rest of the car. I fully underestimated how much effort this is going to be, and it was a bad idea. So, to be able to export this highly detailed mesh, we're not going to mirror it. We're going to do that a little bit later with a little bit of cheeky code. Then after saving it, we're going to export it as a JBeam. Wait, no, hold on, that was a mistake. We've got some parameters we have to change. Okay, now that those parameters are changed, we'll export it again. This is not the normal export of JBeam. This is a different one. And there we go. We have all of the things. Oh my god, there is so many nodes. Oh. And now I'm gonna have to mirror this and do a little bit of trickery. So we put a bit of a space in there, put that in again, then we're gonna select all of this new stuff and replace all mentions of R with L. Oh, does it not work in this program? Okay, fine, all right. We're gonna open this up in Visual Studio thing. It just works better. So this bumper alone, if half of it is about 1,000, this is going to be 2,000 nodes. This is pretty wild. Okay, that's 1,000 change. That means that there's, I think there was, yeah, 1,074, which means there's about 70 now I'm going to have to go through and remove, like this one, this one, this. So the ones that are basically in the middle. Now we do exactly the same thing, except with the beams, of which, oh my god, there's so many goddamn beams. Oh my god, this is insane. Okay, there we go. Jesus. Then again, with all the triangles. Now, I know that the triangles all need to be reversed, but I am not going to be putting in that much effort. We're just going to page down this, copy it, make a new blank space, and paste in page up with shift. There we go. Then replace all R's with L's as well. Now that is going to mean that some of the faces are pointed the wrong way, but I don't care. Okay, this absolute monstrosity of a thing here is gonna have to now get a little bit messed with. We can grab the friction, the node weight, though we're gonna change the node weight in a second. Because if this was to be 0.7 of a kilo per vertice, there's probably about, like, what, 20 nodes here? Then that's gonna weigh about 14 kilos. I'm just randomly picking a number, basically. Mine, on the other hand, has, what, about 2,000 vertices times 0.7. That means this bumper would weigh 1.4 tons. So this is gonna have to change. Let's just go like 50 kilos, divide that by 2,000. Yeah, they need to be 0.025 kilos each. That's gonna be a tricky one to pull off because I don't have any reference like node, beam, and strength sort of values, because this is all held together here in this beam section. And I now have to like come up with some values that won't make it like, because if something is too light, it'll just shake itself to bits, or if it's too heavy, it'll kind of flop down. There's like a really precise balance I have to reach, and I don't know what that's gonna be for 0.025 of a kilogram per vertice. No thing. Though we can basically start with this. Yeah, this, I'm gonna divide it by 100. Damp we're gonna leave. Deform, strength, sure, all looks good. Okay, game is in working condition. We go down to nose, oh no, that's nose cone support. GTR, complex bumper. Oh, okay, game is not happy. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna have to convert all of these to be a negative value on the X. No, it is a negative value. Okay, then let's select all of you, then search for quotation mark, comma, negative, and replace that with quotation mark, comma, and no negative. Okay, save that. Then in here, we're gonna control R this, and it should, Okay, good. It's gone around, and you can see that this is like basically lined up with the actual visual mesh. This is gonna be a goddamn nightmare. And so I'm not in Vulkan anymore. You can see that this is green on this side and this is pink. That means that that is inside out. I don't know if that's really technically gonna have much of an effect, but we will have to see. Oh god, okay, what was I doing? Yeah, that's right. We're gonna have to bring this down even more. That seems like a terrible idea, because at the moment, the game instantly breaks. So Control R, unport, nope, okay. Let's slow this down, all the way down. We're currently 1,000 times slower. Game is paused, unpause. Yep, things just immediately start flying to bits. Okay. Oh wait, I have an idea. Usually when nodes are too close to faces, they start to have a problem. So what we could do is set these to be non-self-collisionable. So false. Now they should have a little less of a problem with each other. Now, unpause. Nope, it's still unhappy. Some of them are flying around. Okay, yep. Okay, I can't get far enough. Here we go. Just an explosion of a bolide. That's unfortunate. All right, let's scroll down to here. At 500, it's too much. Okay, let's change damp down to 0. Refresh this. Unpause the game. And it looks like it's twitching. Can't actually tell. Things might be moving so fast I can't actually see what's happening. That one's jiggling back and forth a lot. I might have to get rid of the triangle section. Is it actually gonna hold up though? Well. Go! Oh, okay, that is the actual frame rate. What are we at? We're at 10 FPS and we've only done the bumper. I am not, oh, it's like jelly. I was really hoping that having the structure the way it was would actually have like some lateral stiffness or longitudinal stiff, like anything other than just jelly. I've spent way too much time and just nothing working, nothing at all. It just explodes every single time. It just goes, hey, look at this, no matter what, it's going to explode. So let's go full time. And yeah, it just goes. Even when as far as to like turn all collisions off, node weight is way up now. I've taken code exactly from other things. I get the feeling that it is just, it's not happy with the amount of nodes in close proximity to each other. So, what do? I think I'm going to add a few nodes that are connected to everything. See if that will help stabilize it maybe. All right. So I've set up all of the nodes, all 2,000 of them, and they're all connected to this one node, which has a lot more weight, and hopefully that one stabilizing weighted node will be enough to make this work. Please, God, work! Okay, what speed are we at? Let's speed this up to, no, all right, it was already at full time. Control R, and it broke. What? I am so incredibly lost. There's no errors being chucked. If we give it a quick refresh, unable to decode JSON, JBeam bolide node code, JSON string lower command individual input line 4,285. 4,000. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm really close there. 4,285. So that. Oh. I thought that was just like the ghosting of the thing, which happens a lot. Okay, now it should work the way I want it to. I'm actually genuinely upset. I am so exhausted at this point. It's just. It's many a swear words right now. Oh, but look, one node stayed. Wait, no. Yep, no, it is. Okay, it's meant to be. Wow, we got one. Now about like 2,000 and 148 to go. Woo! I hate this so goddamn much.
The following Thursday,
200,000. And, you know, gotta be honest, I think that's as good as we get. The rest of this is just not gonna work. Now, I've got those stabilizer nodes. I think we're just gonna attach those directly to what is meant to be like the nose cone support. So NCS1R, and we can put this in right about here. NCS1R, duplicate that, L, duplicate both of these, and change these to R's. Then, what else we got here? We got some 2s, and some double R's and double R's. Trust me, it makes sense. And now when we refresh, it should be kind of attached. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Our bolide work. Why is it not? Oh, do I have? Okay, there we go. Arcade mode. Great. That's exactly what we need. Sugoi desu yo ne. All right. I think we might need to make some more stabilizer nodes and offset them vertically, so I can kind of hold this a little bit in place. This should be a little bit better connected. Sure. I think it might be a smidgen bit heavy though. As you can see here, it is pulling down on the nose. Let's bring up the weight. Currently the weight is 2,087 kilos, which is basically 2 tons. Or, I mean, if you're working in those weird, funny numbers, 4,400 pounds. But if we change it to just the normal GTR nose, it is 1,100 kilos, a little over a ton, or 2,300 pounds approximately. That's a ton in nose. Damn it. I'm gonna be honest, I am so surprised that it performs like really well. I'm still getting hundreds of frames a second. That is a surprise. You know what? Actually, since this is a one-to-one collision mesh, there's no like sneakily clipping through things. Let's see what real crash physics look like. Kind of. I mean, if your bumper was made out of like some sort of jelly. Bringing it up, a little bit bouncy. Oh, yeah, that's a thing. Okay, I've broken our old faithful car jump arena. We're gonna try our hardest to drive really fast into one of these pylons. Not sure how this is gonna go, but get it there and then pause. Now, let's start slowing it down to, let's go 200 times slower and let's see what this looks like. I think we can, yeah, okay, there we go. And what does the crash look like? Hopefully that this collision mesh is entirely correct. Let's slow down a little bit more. Oh, okay, it's splaying out along the bottom, unlike any other mesh that I've ever seen. And it's just going inside of it. I get the feeling that that's not the proper collision mesh. Bugger. But we get perfect crumplage almost, but not really. Well, I suppose BeamNG has a lot of give that you wouldn't expect. I suppose that's as good as we're gonna get. I'm not great at doing collision mesh with beam, spring, and damp. In the first place, this is not much better. I would love to see if anybody else has actually done this, or if they could do it better than me. Sometimes this did drop frames quite a bit, but I mean, the frame rate did pretty well. It stayed up in the usually multiple hundreds of FPS. I think part of that problem might be the map, but I like the idea of this. Now that I know that the frame rate isn't too terrible, unfortunately making the collision mesh out of a visible mesh takes for goddamn ever. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm seeing this for the first time, by the way. When I did the lap, I recorded it so then I could sit down, just watch the replay and chat to you guys for a little bit, and that was funny. It's kind of like those cartoons with the eyeballs come out of the cartoon's face and go, oh god! It's kind of what that looks like a little bit. I know, I'm lame. Anyway, moving on. I would like to thank my channel members, and that specifically includes a Rogue Tick the Crown Priest. For the rest of you though, I'll just have to catch you all next time. Goodbye.